What's up, guys? It's Lady Calysta here with a video for you guys, a different one that I kind of don't want to do, but it is about getting my leader taken and what you can do to get it back. So for the very first time ever, I had my leader taken while I was attacking. So I have hit accounts upwards of 230 million. This guy, I took a look at his gear. He looked like he was running heavy cav, so I went all ranged, right, to counter. Another guildmate hit him after me. But at 173 mil, I knew he'd have a lot of troops. I figured I could probably still burn him though, especially if there were more than one person hitting him. But he ate my attack. So you can see there, out of my 375,000 soldiers, 225,000 were wounded, and I had 150,000 red dead. So a hell of a hit, right? Like 13.5 million might drop. I would say at the end of the day, I was sitting, it ended up being like a 5 million drop because you can see my hospitals cover over 500,000 troops. I have maxed out my infirmaries because I am constantly getting random mails on how I'm going to get quadruple rallied and whatever. So I have kind of built my account to handle something like that. But that's why. Now you can see he had a ransom of 30 million gold for my leader, which isn't a ton. It's not a low amount, but it isn't a ton. What I'm doing here is the goal and the plan is going to basically be to rally this guy, right? So you can see how many helps he has sent. That is, and I might do a video just on like kind of how to find rally targets, but it's a good idea to track whether or not they're pressing help, so you can figure out if they're online or not. To be perfectly honest, the fact that he's holding my leader as well as a bunch of other leaders from other guilds, but a couple of leaders from CAE, which is the guild where I am, I knew this guy was probably not going to be sleeping. He is in a Chinese guild, so his time zone is different, and for him, this would have been his kind of like sleep time. But the fact that he was holding on to those leaders, like I knew there was no way he's going to be sleeping, right? So we had a pretty good idea that he would be active. So what we did is we had our guild set up a rally. One of our sister guilds set up a rally that would only get set once he moved and once our rally started walking. Basically, he would either have to shield or take it, right? Like that was the goal, and that was kind of the strategy. It was funny. I will say a lot of you guys know CAE has a ton of YouTubers in it, and the YouTubers came en masse to help me out. So a huge shout out. Mr. BP was all about setting up the rally for our guild, like who's going to be rally leader, who's going to get the hero, kind of working with the other guild that was going to hit with us. Malchik actually ended up leading the rally on behalf of CAE. Smurf, who's another guy within CAE, went into our sister guild CAD to lead rallies there. And I will say this is a big thing, guys. Like if you have your leader taken while you're attacking, and this happens a lot to bigger players. Now, I get this question a lot. Why does that happen? Well, even if a opponent is 200 million, right, and you're 1 billion, you're only sending at a max 375,000 troops against the millions and millions of troops that will sit in their castle, right? So at that point, it becomes a game of like jewels and gear and not having every single one of your guys either be killed or wounded, right? Because when that happens, that's when your leader gets taken. On the screen right now, you're seeing, I wanted to join the rally, actually. These guys, because our main opponent, BSC, basically came to our kingdom, and they brought over 3 additional guilds. So what they have been doing is quadruple rallying, right? So we know that's a very real threat. What I didn't want to happen was for any of my guys to go into Fury that would then potentially get rallied. That would have been really bad. So we were waiting for these guys to go to sleep. What you see me doing here is I'm actually opening up some gold packs. They don't get consumed, obviously, so it's not a big deal. The reason why is this guy had set a bounty of 30 million, a ransom of 30 million, which wasn't a tremendous amount for me. Like I could probably pay it. So my thing was I wanted to join the rally if BSC took the opportunity to counter rally me, right, and triple rally or quadruple rally me, I would have basically paid that damn ransom right quick, have gotten my leader, and have tried to taken the rallies basically, right? So that's why I imported. Also, you're gonna see I ported into the forest, because again, if you get hit and burned, you will move, right? I wouldn't want to be in a place where I'm kind of like stuck without a leader. Even at 600 million might, you are pretty safe. I have millions upon millions of troops, right? Like it wouldn't have gone well for them either. But it wouldn't have gone well for me, right? Because my troops wouldn't have been as strong as they could be. So I did have a plan B in case these guys tried to set up some sort of counter rally. That would be, you know, more than one. I would have basically just paid that ransom really quickly, and have tried. And you can see here, I'm checking to see how far away from me he is, because I was trying to time this pretty closely. My goal was, I wanted to join this rally. I was going to join it later. I didn't want to have my troops tied up for a really long time, because then they would know where I was and rally me. So it would have been more like right before I was going to walk, I was going to speed my troops over. The plan was then kind of hit him. Because I would have, at that point, have been in fury, I got counter rallied. You know, even if we didn't burn him, I basically would have paid the ransom to be able to get my leader back in case I was going to get rallied. But this was pretty surprising, guys. Like, I have not had my leader taken in an attack. I have hit, I think the largest amount of troops has been 4 million troops, and the highest might that I've hit soloed has been around 235 million. So this was kind of surprising. It was super early in the morning for me too, so I wasn't necessarily like thinking this was going to happen. I remember like I hit and he smokes, and I'm like, he smoked? Like, that was the first thing that I noticed. And then like I glanced to the upper left and I'm like, my mermaid. So it was like that moment of like, oh snap, kind of like shock. And then like I tend to laugh when things like this happen, just in general, because what else am I gonna do, right? I was just kind of like, oh god. And then immediately figuring out like what my next step is going to be. Thankfully, I'm a part of an amazing alliance guild that totally supports each other, like without a doubt. As soon as I posted that guy's scores, everybody was like, let's rally, let's get your leader back, right? And for a lot of you guys that get your leaders taken, like that's super important. Like, this is how you get your leader back, right? There's like a couple of strategies that you can use. The first one is going to be like the good old begging for it, right? I didn't do that here. There is no way I would ever beg for my leader back, but a lot of people do. I take a lot of leaders. I get emails that are super sad. Like, I will get like, it's my son's birthday, my mom is really sick, can you release my leader? Like, I get just incredible mails, right? Trying to get that sympathy, right? So that's one technique. The second one is get a bunch of people to solo, but obviously he's set up in a way that he can eat solo attacks pretty damn well. And then the last one is the rally technique, right? Like, you're gonna force him to either shield up or eat a rally. So if eating a rally is very different at 170 million might than eating a solo attack, right? Like, can he handle over 2 million troops from somebody with maxed gear with a level 60 leader? Probably not, right? And usually you have everybody kind of ported around. You can try to like clean up afterwards. In this case, we wanted to make double sure, right? So we had kind of like that double rally technique, because what can happen if you're only one guild is like you'll set the rally and then he'll just keep porting, right? And forcing you to walk for 2 hours, which is not what you would want ever. But in this case, if we forced him to move while we were rallying him, if he moved while we were walking, which is when the other guild would have set their rally, then he would have gotten instantly hit by our rally, and he wouldn't have wanted that, right? So the only option he had was to shield. And again, as I mentioned before, I did port into the forest. I wanted to participate in this to make sure that I would be able to help out. I mean, my guild is being amazing, giving me a hand, trying to get me my leader back. Again, a lot of these guys were just so nice and helpful. These are the moments where you really need an awesome team with you, right? Because it sucks to get your leader taken. Nobody ever feels good about that. For me, this really sucked kind of twice as bad, because I kept thinking, I was like, before the end of the year, something's got to happen. Like, I'm going to get like triple rallied or something, or I'm going to lose my leader. KVK came and went and still had my leader. So, and this was it, right? It was like a random attack trying to get the leaders of my alt accounts back. So I have a couple of alt accounts that I use for resourcing, because it takes a ton of resources to be able to maintain an account like this. So that's kind of like how this whole thing started. But I totally didn't think that he would eat my leader. But he did. Another thing that I could see people asking is like, am I going to be a lot more careful now in the future that this has happened? I'll say this, guys, like, you know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I don't even know if that's how the saying goes, but that's how it is, right? Like, if you want to be a fighter in this game, stuff's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna get caught, you know, with your army out, or you'll hit something that you didn't expect, right? To have 10 million troops. And you might lose your leader, and it's just kind of like part of the game. And I think in order for that not to happen, it's going to be one part luck, one part skill, right? But you can't always depend on the skill piece. You can, like, there's only so much it will get you, right? And only so far. It would have been safer to have tried to rally this guy. I tend to like YOLO a lot, and you guys know that. I do it for a few reasons. It's just kind of like I like aggressive gameplay. I feel like, you know, might hugging and being concerned about losing might, like, that's never been my style. And that's why you'll see, like, right now I'm sitting at 594 million. I know some of you guys are going to be worried because I'm not 600 million. I don't like being under 600 million, right? But at the end of the day, if it means I'm going to get my kills up and I'm going to be able to really play this game, like, for me, it's worth it, right? To lose some might. This is a rally, guys, that we as CAE set. Again, Malchik also has a YouTube channel. I will link him in the description down below. Mr. BP totally came through in the clutch, was super, super helpful just with everything. Also has a YouTube channel. We'll also link him down below. This is like a YouTube family thing. Plus all the other awesome people that are part of my guild. You can see them kind of popping up there. Again, to rescue our leaders. There were a couple of us that and it ended up filling up pretty quickly. So by the time I clicked join, like, it was already full, and that happened to a couple of people that were trying to recall from tiles. Right now Guildfest is going on, right? So there's a lot of stuff happening. People's troops were tied up in like darkness and things like that, so it can be a little bit difficult. You can see here just a quick snapshot of that, and then he ended up shielding once he realized what was going to happen, right? And that we had more than one guild helping us. When he shields, as you guys know by now, it automatically releases all the leaders. I was super happy to get my leader back. It was a thing. It was like work. It was stressful to not have it. I can't tell you, wow, like, I have to say, like, every time I would log in and see that, like, those, like, jail bars, like, the bars of the cell, it was, like, super depressing. And I'm still, and you guys are gonna see me writing this, I'm still super curious, like, what this guy has in his castle. I am just hella curious. We will find out eventually, as we tend to do. So I'm sure this is not kind of where it ends. We will see this guy again. Here I am just kind of like waiting for my hero to come back. So that is it in a nutshell, you guys. That has been my day today, just dealing with this stuff. You can see my beautiful mermaid swimming her way back to home, which I'm really happy about. I never saw this animation before. I think it's actually really cute. Like, she's actually like coming back to me. But note to self, stuff happens. Am I going to be a lot more careful or trying to like only hit castles under 100 million might? No, right? Like, if you guys have watched me or you guys know me by now, like, you know that is not gonna happen. I'll try to be more careful. Like, I'll ask for more backup maybe when I see some of these bigger accounts. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions below.